water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in peace and harmony, but everything changed when the fire nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of the four elements, was the only one who could stop them, but when the world needed him the most, he vanished. 100 years past, I and my co-host discovered a new avatar, a bender named, we don't know. But although his airbender is going to be great, he still needs to learn a lot before he can save anybody. And I believe he can save the world in a way.
Are you a podcaster? Why don't you switch to Anchor.fm? Why? 1. It's free. 2. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. 3. You make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. 4. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and much more. Now, how will you do that? Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. I can't wait to see you.
So, what's your favorite bending, AJ?
Airbending.
Airbending.
Yes.
I like airbending because it's very versatile compared to others. But I think I'll give it mine. I like Earth for some reason. I don't know why, but I like Earth and airbending. But I will give it
Earth is
Earth.
too dirty. Maneuvering the earth and all that is too dirty.
It's not.
Air is very clean. Water is too wet. Fire is too hot. Exactly.
Air has no temperature.
Exactly. No, I can control the temperature by using wind. That's all.
No, I think I prefer Earth because I think Earth is very strong. Fire is destructive, but the problem with Earth is if you're like in the sea now, in the ocean.
Yeah, except they are powerful enough to draw from the bottom of the ocean floor.
Which I'm sure none of them can.
Air, there's air everywhere.
Everywhere. And fire benders can bend fire without, unlike others who need the natural source.
Mm-hmm.
Fire benders are the only one who bend without a natural source.
But in the film, they don't.
Exactly, and in a way, it's actually weird because if firebenders needed a source to bend, trust me, they'll be very weak.
They'll be carrying matches up and down.
Exactly, they'll have to literally be carrying matchsticks everywhere they go. So, but why do you think, why do you think Avatar was like? When you look at Avatar compared to other animes, but there was something about Avatar that people just like. Why do you think so?
Avatar, he detailed the
Anime
journey.
is-
And all of them were young.
Well, animes, all of them are so not all
Of course,
a lot of them.
They behave in animes. They behave more mature than they are sometimes. They over exaggerate some of their behavior.
Yeah.
Avatar I watched Avatar as a kid, and I can still watch it as I'm grown up now.
Yeah.
The first Avatar series, that is the last event that dealt with kids, what's affecting like how kids in the olden age behaved in a way. But the modern one, Korra, dealt with a lot of subjects that people don't really like to talk about. We talked about democracy, different people living together. We talked about sexuality, Avatar Korra's sexuality. yes. Then we talked about I really enjoyed. I preferred the first Avatar. I don't know why. I just preferred the first Avatar.
Well, I prefer the first Avatar. I actually prefer Korra. Not because, why I like Korra was because the fact that she used the bending, like all the whole bending skill with the same level, she had the amount of time. Like it didn't feel she was a water bender because she was using fire, she was using earth, I couldn't say okay she's more of a fire bender. I couldn't say she was more of an earth bender. She really didn't use a lot of air bending, but she used air.
I can understand that, but look at Ang was 12 years old and he has never bended any other elements. It was lost for 100 years. The Avatar was not the way it was basically an enemy. Everybody was looking for him. Korra, she was celebrated as the Avatar.
Yeah, well, but no one was looking for him. He ran away because he didn't want to be the Avatar.
Yeah, and when he woke up 100 years
Exactly.
later, imagine that all your
But
friends
no,
are
even
dead.
when he learnt the elements, he was still using air, and it took a long time for him to really use. He really did not use water. He did not use earth. He was just air.
He was a kid.
It wasn't about him being a kid. Like Korra, what's her name?
But in
Korra,
the end-
when she was young, when the beginning scene, she was already bending earth, fire, and water without even being trained.
No, sure.
Yes. In the beginning, because when they came to look for the Avatar, they were like, "Oh, she's the Avatar," because they were like, "Oh yeah, right." Like the people who come to pick the Avatar, like, "Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of people claiming that they are not." And the first thing she did was bend earth. Then she bent the water, like in a puddle of water in the house, and she threw out flame and fire lasers or whatever that is, So yes, she no. Avatar Korra, while we are the fight scenes, and I'll say it really had good scenes, but something about Avatar Korra, really had a lot. As in, it was very rich when it comes to action. Maybe because I'm more of an action person, and also
Action. And the final scene with fire.
it was like that is it. It was only that scene that really okay.
Yeah,
that was
the climax.
but that was the climax. But Korra, each season had had climaxes, so it was not like okay. So we had to wait till the ending before we saw that climax.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess you're an Ang, but I like Ang because of the whole cheery this thing compared to Korra. I won't like apart from the fight scene.
Later in his life, according to Korra, Ang became a more serious person. But at that time, that age, you cannot be at 12-year-old. That kind of responsibility. He basically laid the foundation of what Korra is enjoying as an adult. But
Yes.
he did not show him as an adult a lot.
Yeah.
And he even was a counsel too. Korra.
Yeah.
So-
He didn't miss Korra. He
No,
didn't. He
didn't.
could not miss Korra. Why? Because an avatar has to be dead before
And
another
that's
one
what I'm
can be
saying
reincarnated.
now. It was a counsel when she was looking for.
Why? Okay, now avatar
Yes,
state.
she
Oh,
was,
okay.
I think that scene. She thought he was Tenzin. But
Yeah.
I'm told that you're looking for me.
Yeah.
So I think it's because Korra she's a teenager, basically an adult in a
Yeah,
sense.
like I think he late.
So she's
teenager.
more serious than Aang. Aang is just a 12-year-old. I think he was maybe 13 or 14 in the end of it. So
Yeah.
basically, he's just coming into adolescence. So he still has all his gimmicks and all that.
Yeah. Okay. But there's something about bending of elements. Have you heard of Fog Hill of the Five Elements?
No.
Trust me, like it's a Chinese anime and it's like on everybody's radar right now. Like it's so interesting. Like the bending stuff are also there.
But what kind of elements do they have?
Fire, water, earth, metal, and wood. That's plants basically.
Yeah.
One they can bend. I don't know what they call them. Like whoever can bend plants bends. Plant like can create trees and things like
Well,
that.
I think I don't know what methods I saw that on. They said it's basically
Yes,
three
it's-
elements or four
No,
elements.
4 classical elements.
Yeah.
Each representing how the world is created. Earth being the
Yeah.
earth, water, the ocean,
So,
air.
mixture,
The
a
fire
combination of
is
two.
we need fire.
They say a combination of was like plants is earth and water
Yes.
formed to make plants.
Yeah.
Then human beings earth and I think is it fire? Fire, but I cannot really remember. But I think it was alchemy or some sort of transmutation or
Yeah, like believe in salamander, gnomes, sylphs, and of course what they call the water spirit or whatever. So yeah, it's true. And like, when you watch that Fog Hill of the Five Elements, like the fight scene is like incredible. The main guy is a fire bending or a fire using guy. He uses fire and it's
what do you call it? Benga.
no bending.
No, I thought
fire
Benga.
bending guy.
I think Benga in anime.
The fire bending dude, he can bend fire or manipulate fire and he can transform into like a ghost spirit, like not a ghost but like a power up, and he's like really
Like
good.
Digimon, like the Pokemon with their Pokeball.
Yeah, it's not like not really. It's like just but like he can power up himself, and but in the trailers they've shown him fighting with the water element, and he defeated water element, and the trailer was so good. Like the water element can make eyes just appear like out of thin air and things like that, and it can manipulate like water in its base form and ice. So it's just incredible.
Again, Korra introduced a lot of, I will not call it elements, they're like blood bending, like
I would say it's introduced. It was already in
I know,
Avatar, but what I would say it's really
it
shone more light on
then
it.
other
And
magma, is it magma or
yes, lava bending.
lava bending.
Yes.
So, lava bending, if I can remember, you told me what to do those did they really bend? Is it the firebenders that can lava bend?
Earthbenders lava bend, but firebenders too can also lava bend. But I think firebenders cannot, unlike earthbenders can change the earth to lava, but firebenders can only use real lava. Because in Avatar when they were showing different avatars, then they showed a fire.
Lava bender in Korra.
In
It's
Korra.
one of the major characters.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Bolin. Yes, Bolin.
But Bolin
Couldn't bend metal. He couldn't bend
his
metal.
father was from the Fire Nation or
No, you know, he had his brother. His brother was a firebender, while he was an earthbender.
so his mom and dad.
Yes,
So
of mixed.
They use it to explain how interracial
Yes.
relations.
Yeah, relationship.
So
Yes,
they
or
created
marriage.
something special,
Yes.
different.
Yes. Even Avatar too. Avatar, when he married Katara, Tenzin, his first son couldn't bend. His second child, that is a girl, could bend water. And while Tenzin, the third child, could bend air. So I think, I think so that's how it works in Avatar stuff. And I think at the Avatar period, bending, as in benders intermarrying one another, became more common, unlike prior to that, whereby they stuck to people from their own nations or tribes, or things like that.
So can you see the correlation there with okay, look at then it's everybody for every tribe or every country intermarrying relationship with them. But after that, now the what do you call their own digital age, even though it's not a digital age.
Yeah, it's not like an industrial age. Let's use it like an industrial revolution.
Yes.
Yes,
so
because
now if they have the Republic City, they have a lot of families, a lot of bending styles coming together.
Yeah, that.
It's sort of America, US.
Yeah.
So even they have a lot of extremist groups.
Who didn't want bending and those who wanted bending and things like that.
I think that's what the writers wanted to inculcate. I think bending is just like
because when you actually look at bending in a way, it's actually very destructive, especially earthbenders, because they literally bend the buildings and destroy it. So it's almost like it's a problem for them. Why would they be destroying the buildings? And when, as in during Avatar period, it was not so advanced. So you even destroying things, you just repair it. But now things are more advanced. Bending is not really, at that point, was kind of like it's not really in vogue anymore. It's still there, but non-benders have power or political power, have influence at a level that was unprecedented when compared to Avatar during the Avatar time. Even though obviously top parents couldn't bend, but they were very rich. But it was not a common thing. Even the Earth King in Avatar period couldn't bend, and I almost think they are cursed because the Earth family or the Earth monarchy, none of them could bend. It's only Bumi of Omashu that could bend. So AJ, like between a waterbender and an earthbender, if they were to fight, go all out, what do you think would win?
What is the location of their fight?
Well, okay, on land, obviously. So earthbender will obviously have a greater say. Well, yeah, you're right. An earthbender obviously have a greater chance of killing.
Okay, let's change the location now to the North Pole.
Obviously, waterbender would win. So it should do, but an airbender has a chance in any region.
Yes, that's why I like it.
And a firebender also has a chance in any.
According to the movie.
Well, the movie is fake. The anime is the original one, or the cartoon. Because some people say we should stop classifying Avatar as an anime, even though it feels like. No, it's not.
What is the character? Is an anime?
An anime is a Japanese anime.
They must they speak Japanese?
Yes.
There are a lot of English dub anime.
That is when it becomes dubbed. Even now, it's because it's causing problems now because Netflix is trying to tap into that market, and it's causing now they are not creating their own animes that are not manga based. They're even written by Westerners and using Japanese actors So it's almost like what's happening, like they're trying to like, this idea of cultural appropriation. Is selling something that is not Japanese content as Japanese content. So it's really becoming and now that Japanese this are becoming more popular and popular. So and Westerners too or non-Westerners or people who are non-Japanese are now tapping into that market. It's becoming like, okay, well, how do we try to categorize everything? So Avatar is not an anime, it's actually an American cartoon. It's Ben 10. Ben 10.
It has
yes.
a look of anime and
yes.
it's based off
a lot of East Asian stuff, not like it's based off.
So will you call that cultural appropriation?
Will I call that cultural appropriation? Who cares?
As far as it's enjoyable. Right?
Well, maybe in a Western context.
Look at all this Greek mythology that we watch, Hercules and all that. That is also cultural appropriation.
It's not because they'll say it's Western culture.
That what?
It's still Western culture. So so it's not. But when it's a non-Western culture being appropriated by Western culture,
so when non-Western people make movies that look like Western movies,
that is actually, I think, another topic for another day, because not apart from that, because of the Full Metal Alchemist too, is something that is quite contentious, and also Promise Neverland too. It's something that I think we'll talk about some other time, but let's just focus now on bending. Okay. So
let me give you a situation. Iroh
yes.
and Bumi.
Yes.
A duo. No weapons. Just bending. Who's going to win?
Iroh and Bumi. Wow. I think I'll give it to Iroh. I would say, okay, on land. Anyway, obviously, Iroh would win. But if it's on land, like
Iroh?
Yes, Iroh, would win. But if it's on land, there's a chance Iroh could still win because he can bend lightning.
Okay, another scenario.
But if not, I want him Bumi is very smart. So he can really bend earth in very versatile manner. He doesn't even need to use his leg. There's a part whereby he was put in a metal box, and he was using his head, or his face, especially to bend earth, which is very rare, which most benders cannot do. But he was able to do it. So yeah, maybe it's possible.
Okay. Avatar Roku and Avatar Korra.
Avatar Roku, Avatar Korra, obviously Avatar Roku.
Why?
Because it's Avatar Roku and not Avatar.
Morty is a fully blown avatar, right?
Not even that. Well, that fight between him and Sozin really showed how powerful he is. And even in the ending, whereby when he died, when he was trying to prevent the island from erupting and everything, he actually is powerful. Even Avatar Kyoshi. Avatar Kyoshi is one of these most notable.
Okay, hold on. Sokka and Pipsqueak. Remember Pipsqueak? That small boy on top of that large boy when they met Jet. You know Jet?
Yes.
So one of you can't remember. Okay.
I can't remember who the Pipsqueak is.
Is it from his name?
Yeah.
Pipsqueak is big. The man is small. Pipsqueak is big.
Are you kidding?
So that's the irony of the name, and the man is always on top. Pipsqueak.
Yeah, I know. Obviously.
Okay. Ty Lee and what's the name of this Kyoshi warrior?
Ty Lee is actually very good because of her, nerve this thing. So she can even take on benders with ease. But but also I think she even fought with the Kyoshi girl.
Yeah.
The Kyoshi warrior girl, Suzy or something. Suki, Suki. They fought and she actually used this stuff for her. So I think she can incapacitate. Ty Lee can incapacitate her.
Okay, let's see. Who else?
Aang versus Avatar Korra.
Obviously.
Avatar Korra.
Why would you say that?
Because she can spirit bend, and I don't think Aang can. And she can metal bend, which Aang can't also. So, yeah.
Because he did, but we did not know whether he learned it later.
Actually, they called her the first metal bending avatar. So yes, and spirit bending is not something.
Since he's the same person, so obviously he knows it.
Obviously, it's ingrained in him. So he's the master of all elements. So yes.
Okay. I think he has been an
And since
insightful-
he's an avatar, so obviously he will have, even though he never got to use it, but he'll be able to spirit bend.
I think it's an insightful. We've done an insightful bonus episode on bending today.
Yeah.
So you can, if you have more scenarios of different characters in the Avatar universe, hit us up on our social media at the Ben CE Podcast, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and catch us on all networks. We have Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically every podcast distributor you can see. Thank you very much, and this is the Ben CE Podcast.
Thank you very much. Hi, this is Ben from the Ben CE Podcast. You can now connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter using the hashtag the Ben CE Podcast. Thank you.